Hey yo! Hi everybody! How's everyone doing today? How are y'all doing? What are folks up to? I don't know, it's been like a hot freaking minute. Goodness gracious! Well, what's new with all of you? Yes, I am alive. Sorry. Hang on. 1 second. Promise I'm not dying. I promise I'm not dying. It's just, like, winter allergies. Okay, real quick audio check. How well can you hear me, and is the music or ambience overbearing or overwhelming? I don't know how to use words anymore. Okay, it's always such a hard thing to do because I can't, like, always hear what my stream is doing myself while I'm streaming. So I'm always like guessing. I'm like, okay, is my mic good? Is this good? Is that good? Ah. Okay, yeah. Right. If most people are not having issues, that may be on your end. You may want to check what you're using to listen with or your device's audio settings. Yes, I am continuing this tradition of subtly having representations of my kids in the background. So, technically, little Evie is not home right now. She's at Grandma's house. As are my older two. It's just the baby that's with me. But yeah, those who don't know, I had another kid. I have 4 kids now. My youngest was born mid-March of this year. Gonna get my mic better positioned. So yeah, the current youngest is about 9 months old. He is so adorable. And he is actually in the room with me right now, sleeping in my little mini bassinet that I keep in my office. So usually he's alright about sleeping a couple hours a shot at night, but you never know with babies. There's a heads up. You may at some point hear him fussing, and I'd have to pause stream to check on him because I'm not one of those streamers to ignore their kids because stream. Like, I'm sure y'all are mature enough to handle 5 minutes of a BRB screen for me to take care of my kid. Come on now. Well, here's the thing. I was technically gone for good off of YouTube. Like, for, like, the better part of a year, I could not upload anything to YouTube. Like, the capability was there, but if I tried to put something up, whatever channel I used to do that, within a day, terminated. Which, I have a friend who's really tech savvy with this kind of stuff, and he figured somehow YouTube knows not the IP address of just my computer, but my entire house. So even a VPN can't fully mask that. So yeah, like literally I could not do anything on YouTube other than just watch stuff, comment, but nothing that involved being a creator. So if you're wondering how my new rebrand channel worked, it was a bit of an ordeal. A friend of mine who's really good with technology, who lives on the opposite side of the country from me, set up the channel of his own accord with all of his information and all that. And I just sent him, like, you know, what to put up, you know, for the name and name description, all that stuff. And then I would then just send him the uploads and whatnot, and he would put them up and publish them. And just as a precaution, he would run each video through a software of his to delete any potential metadata that would tie the files to my computer. But yeah, quite a hassle. Way more of a hassle than just, you know, making stuff, double checking it, and just, you know, uploading it yourself. So yeah, I'm praying this is an actual, like, legit fresh start. And that, like, you know, suddenly next year they're not going to start, you know, striking me and everything over all the old content that they themselves reinstated when they brought the channel back. It's like, don't punish me for, like, what you seem to have grandfathered in, y'all. But I still am going to be a bit more cautious going forward with what I put up, because there are things that used to be seemingly okay to do with ASMR on YouTube that now really seem to get people, like, you know, strikes and all that shit. Because I'll admit, it was hard for, like, you know, the better part of 2 years. Because keep in mind, my channel got terminated November 2023. So it was a struggle, you know, to be a content creator without my main reliable platform available for me to utilize. It also really, like, you know, put a damper on my creativity, because, like, you know, it's depressing, you know? Besides some other factors going on, I got sick a few times. It was pretty bad. I had some issues going on in my personal life. And then in summer of 2024, I found out I was pregnant with my son. And this, oh yeah, the youngest is a boy. The older three are girls. We finally have a boy. And we call him the little guy. It's the little guy. He's just a little guy. So yeah, I'm still gonna be kind of, you know, testing the waters, taking things kind of slow for the next few weeks. Because I gotta figure out now how to juggle, you know, be back to regularly updating this channel with content and all that stuff. But then also, you know, the other VTuber streaming I've been doing this whole damn time. Like, yeah, Orky still exists. I still have been streaming regularly as Orky, just not on Twitch. I hit a point when Twitch just got too, like, dumb that it wasn't a good fit for the kind of content I wanted to do. So now when I stream as Orky, it's on a platform called Joystick, which is an 18 and up platform. Like, it's not like Twitch or YouTube or Kick. Like, it's basically, it's a campsite, but if a campsite was just Twitch that allowed adult material. And so I genuinely have a lot more freedom to do what I want on there in terms of content to stream, in terms of games and whatnot, and how to use my model. I just like it better. So yeah, I'm doing that, and then, but I was still streaming on Twitch with the rebrand persona, Aki, because I was able to kind of more do some niche things that kind of tied into the character's, you know, archetype. I don't know what it is about me. My brain needs to compartmentalize things. Okay, so little guy is the youngest. Little Evie is the second youngest. The one that was born after, you know, I was a known creator on here back in 2020. She's always gone by Little Fox. And then my oldest, who has been around since even before as a YouTuber, she's actually going to be turning 12 in February. Initially, her nickname was Little Beluga, but she's getting a bit too old for nicknames like that, so I just call her the kiddo. And so basically the ages is the oldest is very soon going to be 12. And then Little Fox is 5.5, so going to be 6, you know, summer of 2026. Evie is going to be turning 3 real soon, early January. And then the little guy will turn 1 in March. So when you think about it, the gap between my oldest and my youngest is like 11 years. One of the things I will say that, I personally, in some cases, don't entirely blame the robot AI moderation for why things have been happening to channels. Because some of the content that has caused, creators issues has been made known that it is no longer tolerated under community guidelines. And while they're not always like the greatest at doing it, when YouTube does make updates to guidelines, they do send out notifications. Like, I'm sorry if YouTube makes it clear that, moaning and making sucky sucky licky licky sounds into a very high quality mic like a 3DO is a no-go because it's now considered to be like, sexually gratifying material, but you keep putting out that content anyway. It's not really the fault of YouTube moderation when they catch it. I genuinely feel for those who literally do like nothing wrong when like they get hit for just like a quick second of breathing or something. Like, that's ridiculous. But when you're actually doing something that is now a known thing, that's a no-no, like, you can't exactly not take responsibility for yourself. Like, okay, y'all want to know how I found out my channel came back? It was so weird and random. I have the YouTube app on my TV, and it's, logged into my account so I could just watch my stuff on the TV, So, one morning when I turned on YouTube on my TV, I went to select my account that I've been using to watch stuff. I then saw, this account show up and everything, every other account tied to the email belonging to this account, and I was like, what? So literally, I found out because of my TV. And I am going to continue to stand by my principles and not attempt to monetize my channel. I just find it pointless. The brief few months it was monetized back in 2021, I really didn't see much benefit from it, and in fact it made it a lot harder to do things. Because now with ads writing on the line, you have even less creative freedom with what you can post. And I'm sorry, if your content is meant to be, relaxing and all that, why do you want to, like, jar people by having ads in that content? Especially since a lot of people make playlists. It's hard to, I can't imagine relaxing with a playlist where every time a video, ends and switches to the next one, boom, an ad. I don't know, it feels, I don't know how to put this, it just feels like, for some kinds of content, you gotta just face the facts that maybe relying on ad revenue and inserting ads and stuff in your content is not in the best interest of your audience. But yeah, but the big reason, other than genuinely caring about y'all and your experience, my content, is I don't want my freedoms for how I go about, creating my stuff further hindered. Like, Like, I already have to take into consideration now what would abide by the current community guidelines and make sure to, like, not, toe any lines. I don't want the extra stress of also making sure I don't, cross anything that would upset the ad revenue part of things. Because what people don't realize is a non-monetized channel still has a pretty good chance of, gaining traction, getting boosted in the algorithm. But a monetized channel with either demonetized videos or videos with limited monetization where they get the yellow mark, those do get suppressed. Like, I'm not naming any names, but the creators who, worry about ad revenue with their ASMR content, even if they are at least decent enough to not put in mid-roll ads, I'm like, homie, there's so many other ways in this content sphere, in this, niche, to generate income. You don't need to rely on ads and, risk, irritating your following and whatnot. Like, come on, like, stop inconveniencing your audience just because you want a few extra bucks. Like, y'all are so sweet. Like, I genuinely miss, making my content in a way where I could do it confidently, as in having my own channel where I could just do things and not have to rely on other people. And, having that sense of community where, like, yeah, not everything I put out has been a banger or will be a banger, and y'all are great about offering genuine constructive feedback about how I can improve things, and I appreciate that. I don't write it off as, oh, hate, or don't like, don't listen. Like, I take it, to heart. But at the same time, that's not going to stop me from experimenting with stuff and fucking around. I mean, come on. The April Fool's video from 23, that was just chicken permission. Chicken permission. And if you don't understand where that came from, there is a longtime creator who now goes by Rob Gavigan, where the joke came from one of his videos, and it has lived in my head rent-free for over 10 years. Also, this is a bit of a hot take, but if your quote-unquote ASMR content is literally just talking into the microphone with your regular voice and regular cadence, not adjusting anything at all or anything. Like literally, it's no different than having a conversation. Unless you have a very uniquely soothing voice by default, it's not really doing ASMR. You're just voice acting. Like, there's a difference. And also, to consider yourself a voice actor requires acting. Like, come on, like, if you're playing a character and they're sad, make it a point to sound sad. Like, come on, like, actually, exaggerate things so people can understand what's going on better. And I get it. Most creators do not come from my background, which is in the film industry and also the animation industry, where I have taken plenty of professional acting courses and all that stuff. I'm also privileged to consider some very prolific voice actors in the Western anime and gaming industry to be my friends, and they have also helped, guide me. But nowadays, there's so many resources out there for if you're serious about your craft and how to improve it. Like, there's really no excuse. If you want a great example of a professional voice actor friend, there's a audio on this channel still standing where a guest voice is Chris Patton. And he's very prolific. He used to be in the anime dubbing industry. He had the lead in Full Metal Panic. He was the main kid in the Ghost Stories dub. He's in all kinds of stuff. And just this past weekend, I was at a convention called Ecchi Expo in near San Antonio, Texas. And I ran into the VA Monica Rial, and I was pleasantly surprised by how she reacted when she saw me. It was way back in the day. Way back in the day when I was just a wee little kitty, barely even in high school. I actually worked as convention staff at a convention called Katsucon, which takes place just outside of Washington, D.C. And if you want to know how a teenager got a staff position at a convention, it's because my aunt is the head of that particular department. And that department is the guest green room suite, where all the invited convention guests, like the voice actors, musicians, all that, can go to get away from everything, to relax, take care of business, grab food, all that stuff. But what makes Katsucon unique is that instead of, just bringing in stuff from restaurants or whatnot, just utilizing catering, my aunt would provide genuine homemade meals for everybody. And she would even pay attention to anyone's dietary restrictions and make sure they were okay. And then my job was to deliver, whatever people needed if they couldn't make it up to the green room, just to make sure that they got their needs met. So I would be running all over the convention to catch people in panel rooms, at signings, anywhere, just to make sure they got their food. So when I bumped into Monica over the weekend, she looked at me and she said, "You look kind of familiar. Would you used to work at any conventions?" And I was like, "Yeah, a long time ago. I used to help Ann out with CatScon in the green room." And her face just lit up. She's like, "Yes, you! Oh my gosh, it's been so long," and all that stuff. So chatted a bit, and then I mentioned the fact that I now do like this kind of content and whatnot, and I always like to have people come on for little guest roles and whatnot to spice things up. And she was completely hyped, and she gave me her card. So I'm thinking after the holidays and New Year's when things are settled, I'm gonna hit her up and see if maybe she may want to have a role in an audio on this channel. Alright, to everybody who was like going to bed and whatnot, have a good night. I know this stream is very late in certain time zones, but there just was no way I could do it any earlier. Mostly because of, getting the baby to sleep, and also, husband-o's work schedule changed, and he now leaves even later to go his night shift. Yeah. It was such a shock that, like, someone who I literally had not seen in person in, oh shit, like, probably close to 20 years. Still, like, remembered me when it comes down to it, compared to other people in the convention scene at Phantom Space, I'm a nobody. Have I seen any good movies? That is a bit hard to say. Because now with 4 kids and 2 of them being too young to take the theaters, and it not being easy to procure babysitters for a good rate, it's very hard for me to get out to the movies. And yes, I can wait for streaming, but that would rely on me having a subscription to every single service, which I don't. I saw that finally we're getting Iron Lung. I am actually very excited for that. But yeah, I think the last movie that wasn't like an anime movie that my husband wanted to watch was the new version of All Quiet on the Western Front, which is on Netflix. And yes, it is a war movie. It's a World War I movie. It gets pretty brutal. But if anything can be called an anti-war film, it's that. New Avatar. Specify Avatar, because there's 2 avatars to know of. There is the good Avatar that involves bending the elements and, awesome storylines and character arcs. And then there's the other Avatar with the overblown FX budget of blue people. The only Avatar movie I have seen was the original one. Back when it first came out. And that was only because I was in film school at the time, and that movie was so hyped up. One of my professors made it a point to essentially take the class on a field trip to see the movie. I have not seen the one with the water, and I have not obviously not seen the firebender blue people yet. And also the fact that they were just so long, like 3 hours. I was able to tolerate 3 hours for Avengers because Avengers involves so many things I like. But the idea of 3 hours of the Avatar universe stuff is like, But I will say the first Avatar movie is a genuine masterpiece. It was like, especially for its time, it is a masterpiece. But they waited way too damn long to make the sequels and continue the story. I haven't seen Zootopia 2 either, because of the fact that I have a couple of kids too young to go to the theaters. So what happened is, my older two kids got to go, but I had to stay home with the younger two. But they came home and said they really enjoyed it, so hopefully when it comes to like Disney Plus or whatever, I'll be able to catch it. Oh yeah, there's a few updates. In the 2 years, I wasn't able to interact with anyone on this channel. Uh, in summer of 2024, and early on in my pregnancy with little guy, I got yet another pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in the lung. And it was a pretty nasty one. So I was in the hospital for several days for them to be able to clear it up. And I swear I'm still feeling the effects from it. It literally feels like one of my lungs is weaker than the other. But now for even more health fuckery, summer of 2025, I'm pretty convinced I had a minor stroke. Because I was presenting so many symptoms of one that, I was literally encouraged by my family to go to the hospital. However, because I am a woman in my mid-30s, who unfortunately has a medical history of, mental health things that require medications, especially, a panic disorder, without even bothering to do the proper checks to make sure it wasn't any kind of stroke, they brushed it off as anxiety and just pumped me full of Valium and sent me home. And the reason why I'm pretty convinced the stroke happened is that, like, a few weeks ago, I had to go to the ER because I had a headache so bad that nothing I could do at home was helping, and it was lasting for days. So I went in and they checked me out. The main thing they found was I clearly had a really, really nasty sinus infection. However, the doctor also saw in the CT that showed the infection a couple of spots on my brain that gave her a bit of pause. So she then ordered for me to get an MRI, just to make sure it wasn't just, a fluke with the CT machine. And then the MRI results came back, and yeah, there's these like spots on my brain. Yeah, something happened to damage my brain, and it was probably a mini stroke. And plus, it's just the fact that, for still being fairly young, I sometimes feel like I'm ancient, because my long-term memory is still pretty good. But my immediate short-term memory, more often than not, is garbage now. Like, I have ADHD, but this is like beyond ADHD forgetfulness. It's just so stressful. Oh, by the way, when little guy was born, he was born a few weeks premature because I started developing a condition called preeclampsia, which causes, high blood pressure and other things that could really damage both mother and baby and even risk death. So they immediately went to induced labor, but as they're waiting and things weren't progressing, they're also constantly combating my blood pressure, which would spike really high, and then when they tried to lower it, it would tank, and it went back and forth for a really long time. And then hit a point where little guy showed clear signs of fetal distress, and the doctor made a call to do an emergency C-section, which is an operation. So for me to give birth to a little guy, I had to be cut open. And then it took over 6 weeks to recover from that. And I still feel like stuff from that surgery, like soreness and just weird tender spots. Like the last couple of years, I will not say have been like awful, because that's just not fair to people who are truly suffering. But it still really seems like I cannot catch a break. Like, just as things seem to be kind of calm and going alright, and I'm able to kind of, not quite relax, but at least feel, kind of content. Something always happens. Something always comes up to, like, bitch slap me across the face and be like, no. What job am I doing outside of YouTube? Mostly, being a mom. Because, my spouse works long hours, and also technically 2 jobs. And, the cost to put an infant in daycare in our area is so exorbitant. Any money I'd make from another job would just go towards daycare. Again, I'm going to remind y'all, I do not give out the actual real legal names of my kids online. For me, this is a matter of protecting their privacy and respecting them and whatnot, and basically not establishing an inner presence for them before they're old enough to consent to it. I know, I'm sorry it's late, though technically it's midnight for me too. It was one of those evenings where I had to make sure I had time to get little guy settled enough, and my husband off to work because he now leaves at 10 p.m. instead of what it used to be, which was 8 p.m. And just I wanted a bit of, calmness before I streamed. Orky still exists. I don't know if I will use her for my occasional streams on this channel, considering she's pretty well established on her own setup on joystick and whatnot. But, nope. She still exists. Oh, get this! Get this! As Orky, I'm actually acquaintances with Victoria the Sun Eater and her husband Zolon. My husband and I ran into them at a handful of conventions, and at one of them, we actually got to go to an after party and, shoot the shit with them and whatnot. However, because I'm not a clout goblin, I'm not going to utilize the fact that I have had these interactions with someone to be like, let's collab, let's do this, let's do that. Because no, I value people as people. I don't like the idea of using anybody to get more popular or whatever. I'd rather earn that through like my own merit, Thank you. There has been what I consider some upgrades in my tech. Not long before my channel got terminated, I got a SR3D microphone, which is basically kind of like a 3DO, but it's built into like a mannequin head. And so that has been fun to experiment with. Of course, I still have my 3DO. And by 3DO, I mean not the usual like little white version you see people have. I have the big boy black one. So I have been looking into the newer types of binaural microphones that have been coming out, and depending on like the prices, see if they're worth testing out. Do I have a favorite Pokemon? Yes, I do. I do have a favorite Pokemon. It's Espeon. Which is ironic, as Saturday at SG Expo, I cosplayed as Vaporeon. I cosplayed as Vaporeon, and Husbando put together an ensemble to represent being a water Pokemon trainer. And if you get the certain meme about Vaporeon, then you'll get what we were doing. Basically, there's been a meme that of nearly all the Pokemon, Vaporeon DNA has nearly the most in common to be a match with humans. So when you think about that in a not innocent way, there you go. So, along with Espeon, I do have a soft spot for Bidoof. There's many times in my life I have felt like a Bidoof. And just a heads up, I know full well VTuber technology has improved greatly over the last couple of years, especially with, model physics and tracking and all that stuff. Like, well, I'm not saying the model I'm using right now is bad, but it feels more like a model I would have been using like 2 or 3 years ago, Meanwhile, the new Orky model, which is going to be debuting next year, and the model for Aki are, more up to par with the current VTuber capabilities. Especially in the physics department. I'll just say that. They have very, very good physics. I like Umbreon. What kind of turned me off from Umbreon is that when the game that introduced Espeon Umbreon first came out, everybody was all about the Umbreon, because most people were like weird goth kids. And I'm like, no, I like the purple one. Oh, hello, guy. Hello, guy. Can I help you, guy? You alright? What's up, little guy? You need something, or are you gonna go back to sleep? What can I do for a little guy? Right. Just as a precaution, so I don't wait until he starts potentially screeching, I'm going to BRB and prep a bottle and whatnot. It'll take like 5 minutes. Give me a sec. I hath returned. Sorry about that. When I got up to go make the bottles, my body decided also needed to go pee. I love it. Oh dang. Sorry. Like I said, it's weather and whatnot. I'm not dying. Okay, so, I've been having some life thoughts. And I would like a bit of a confirmation that I'm not weird or crazy for thinking how I think. So I'm gonna toss up a poll, and I want to see what y'all feel about it. Alright, poll is up. If you need me to, like, you know, go, like embellish on it, I will. Alright, just to embellish on it a little bit, the subject matter is pretty much the only thing that they connect over. Like, yeah, sometimes they have small talk about, what's going on, but the main core of their, friendship is to talk about something, intimate in nature in some way. Because, yeah, it'd be one thing if, like, you have a friend and you talk about, like, everything, and then just so happen to also have that in common. But if that's the main thing you have in common and pretty much all you talk about, I don't know, to me it seems kind of like, yeah. Let's just say sometimes the conversations get pretty explicit in terms of what exactly they enjoy about that particular, schmexual thing, and their experiences, what gets them going. Like, it's not surface level. Going with the poll, maybe I'm just weird, but I don't know. Maybe if it was like flipped around, I don't know. I feel like if it was me and my main connection to somebody that I interacted with was about like a, a sexual interest, and I was like all we connected really over, especially if I wasn't single, that would be kind of odd. Okay, does the answer shift if they also roleplay this particular fetish, where the roleplay is also written out with very, very explicit sexual acts? Where to someone who doesn't know what roleplaying is, it would look like two people sexting. And I get it straight. If a person's single, like totally single, that's fine. Especially since connecting over those interests could help you get a partner. But if you claim to be in a committed relationship, like maybe, consider keeping certain things in your pants, really in your pants. Alright, so maybe it's not that weird. I'm probably just reacting over, as like a trauma response. Considering the fact that I was cheated on for a really long time, and just the notion that like my partner is having those kinds of interactions with other people that you really should be having with your partner. It's just kind of it's a trigger. And it also doesn't help that I know damn well if it were the other way around, he would lose his shit. And here's another query I put towards y'all. Especially if any of you do like online role playing and whatnot. Would it be genuinely like consider a bit sus if every like roleplay thing you do with somebody is always just straight up ERP? Maybe sometimes has a little bit of build up, but is always just flat out ERP, and that's it. And you do it with multiple people. And also, you're not single. ERP is like kind of like lingo for erotic roleplay, or basically the whole main point of the roleplay is it's sexual. Like, it's not, just romance or anything else. It is straight up, corn. Because, I don't mind role playing, but if, like, every single one is always, like, just sex. I don't know, it seems kind of weird if you're not single to be doing that kind of shit with other people. I have asked him, like, why is it always, sex with you? And he's like, well, that's just what interests me. That's like the most fun to write, And it's like, you should understand, like, you do erotic content. Meanwhile, completely overlooking the fact that on this channel alone, majority of my stories and what I do is pretty damn and safe for work and covers whole different varieties of subject matter than just, bedroom activity. In fact, I could argue the number of roleplays I have done that are not, geared towards, smecks, it's like, are like, it's like way more. I think I've done maybe around 200 that are explicitly, the point of it is, smecks. And then I have at least 800 that cover whole different varieties of topics and subject matters and whatnot. I'm like, sorry, if you can't, roleplay and come up with a concept and a story while it always just being just sex, you may want to start, like, trying to build up your creativity better. Because I am perfectly capable, able to have fun doing what I do without anything sexual being involved at all. And again, maybe it's not weird, and again, I'm just reacting out of triggers from betrayal trauma, considering, he's doing all this stuff, and yet I literally have to beg for just base level intimacy. And anything even more involved than that, a lot of times there's just an excuse as to like why he can't or why he won't. I can honestly say, now that we're reaching the end of the year, the amount of times he and I have, done the deed in full, where it wasn't just like a quick, like little, like light little whatever, but like the full thing. I don't even think it's been 10 times. And keep in mind, we're married and live together. Well, have a wonderful holiday too. It's just, I don't know. Sorry, I don't like venting this stuff, but the real problem is I don't have people in my life to talk about this to, really, who either don't jump to extremes and like go too far, or completely just brush it off and blow it off and basically tell me suck it up and all that crap. That's no big deal. Yeah, this shit out of nowhere, sometime early November 2023. Just as I was uploading a new audio and about to hit it to go, public, I got faced with the error page that the channel was terminated. Yes, I can access that one. Like, the problem was, this is, with this being the main account attached to the email I used, all the other accounts attached to the email got locked out, even though they weren't terminated. I will say, as much as I love hanging out with y'all and have chill times, I am completely, totally aware that majority of people who come to this channel, who subscribe and whatnot, aren't really here to hang out with me, you know, as a person, you know? They are here for the stories, they're here for the fantasies, they're here for the tingles and whatnot. So while, of course, occasionally, especially if I, you know, feel like being social and have not much else to do and but don't have a lot of time, I'm gonna pop on here for streams just to catch up with y'all. But if you do actually enjoy, you know, watching live streams and whatnot, you can watch me stream as Aki Luda on Twitch, where I do a whole, you know, bunch of stuff you do on Twitch. Or if you are over 18 and okay with, you know, having a account on that kind of platform, you can sign up for joystick.tv and watch me stream as Orky on there, where things are way more unhinged because I have a lot more freedom on there. Link to the Twitch. Certainly. Oh, and I'll also link to Joystick, but not directly because it's an adult platform. But you can easily find the link to it through my Orky website. So also, once in a while, I do adult streams as Aki. But I do it on a platform called Sin Party, which is definitely more like a traditional campsite with some features of like a fansly. But it's not like, you know, like a scheduled, like, designated thing I do. It's something I kind of do as like a treat. And the reason why I do it on that platform is Joystick has a lot of VTubers on it now. Usually when I have gone live on Sim Party, I'm like the only VTuber, and I make it to the main page right away. It's kind of funny. The thing is, with the graphic, there's no links. Like, there's literally no way for anyone to go to the platform. It's literally just a logo. Think about all, like, the commentary channels, the news channels who bring up creators on those platforms. it will bring up the logo on the screen. Oh, you're welcome, Owl. Thank you for hanging out. And I don't mind lurking. I don't mind lurkers. I like lurkers because I know the real reason most of you are even here is you just like listening to my voice to like relax or use background noise. If you're wondering how I keep track of everything, it's not easy. It's really not. Especially when there's instances where I have to juggle the kids and things don't go my way. And even then, sometimes I just have days where I'm forgetful. Oh my god, I think it is so ridiculous for wasting, for banning lurkers. Why ban lurkers? Like, a view from a lurker is still a view, at least on, like, the platforms I know of. I heard Twitch stopped counting it, but I don't know if that's fully true. But a lurker is still someone, you know, engaging with your stream. Like, come on. The only instance where lurkers are genuinely irritating are the ones that are like that watch stuff on the adult platforms and basically take advantage of the rewards people who tip the performers get. I think in that instance, it is unfair to the streamer. Oh, by the way, if you didn't see on Discord or Twitter, I just went on a mass, just hyper-focus thing last night and just redid my main website. Because looking just even at the front page of how it was before, with it being such a cluttered mess, it was just overwhelming and giving me anxiety. Now that version still exists, I just attached it to a different domain. I understand. I totally understand the whole age verification thing. Like, I think when it comes to just people, you know, partaking in platforms, that level of demanding, you know, ID and shit is just utterly ridiculous. It should only be required for people making the content, you know? It's like, yeah, for me to stream on Joystick, for me to put content on a certain hub, for me to be on Fansly, yada yada yada, I had to, show my ID and whatnot. I'm so happy to be back. Like, I think one thing that really contributed to my less than stellar mental health the last couple years was the fact that basically, years of work and passion and all that got ripped away from me, and just, yeah. And then plus, with the channel being gone, unless you knew where else to find me online, I had no way of, really interacting with my community anymore. And that's also just saddening. Oh no, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Though, interestingly enough, I got pretty good at SEO, so just a Google search for Kitti Minx brings up the website pretty high up in the search results. Like, more so than just my social media accounts. Well, I guess you could call it a Christmas miracle, but for me, I'd say it's a holiday miracle, given Christmas ate my holiday, if you catch my drift. But I will say, it's definitely, like, a blessing. And I hope it's, like, actually a genuinely good one, and I don't have to wait for the other shoe to drop. Oh yes, I know Skitty Cat. We go back, quite a long time. Like, way back in the early days of people, coming on and starting to do the audio roleplay thing. Common advice I was constantly giving to people is don't just, post on platforms in general. Make your own website, if anything, to serve as a hub. So it's a one-stop shop for people to find everything you do and everywhere you exist online. And a proper website with a domain and all that works better for SEO and search results and whatnot than just using like a link tree or a card or something. It also just looks more professional. Like that you take what you do seriously. Load times on Reddit? Wait, because I generally know what platforms audio creators use to host their files on Reddit, and they seem to work just, pretty normal and quickly for me. Hello, new person. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't be shy. We're just hanging out. Oh, that sucks. Hopefully it is just the site, not your internet. Oh yeah, I another thing I'm wondering. If any of y'all have computers and run Windows, as your computer started acting a lot slower and a lot worse since it was forced to update to Windows 11. Because I've noticed since I was forced to put Windows 11 on this thing. Ugh. The interface is also just incredibly annoying. I do think there's a couple that are down still. Let me double check. Oh, no guy, hang on. No guy, you're okay. Oh. Oh, guy. Yeah, there's a couple I've noticed that are still down. They are. Oh, buddy, bud. Hang on, 1 second. Alright. He being a bit of fuss because he wanted his bottle. Yeah. The one I looked up to see if it was still on because I remember when it got taken down was the first video I did of Amber, the club dancer. Oh, little guy. Little guy. Little guy. Oh, yeah. Oh, guy. Oh, the guy. Oh, the guy. Oh, guys. You are still cranking over Taz, little guy. Oh, but. Alright. I think this means I need to pick him up, which means he's gonna steal my thunder for a bit. Come on, bud. Come on, buddy. Come on, little guy. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Hey, buddy. Oh, it's the buddy. Oh, it's the buddy. And I got the little guy. I got the little guy. Say hi to little guy. Say hi to little guy. Say hi. Say hi. Little guy. Little guy. Little guy. Little guy. I now have a lap of little guy. Yeah, so the very first audio I made of Amber, the dancer, which had been off my channel for years, with which I actually think it did get hit with a warning once, but then I appealed and they reinstated it. And then the year that my channel got terminated, without even a strike or anything, they just removed it. I don't know. I do have a backup of it on Rumble. Oh, wait. I think I sense the fussy. The cause of the fussy. I do need actually BRB because someone's a stinky guy. And you can't be a stinky guy. Gotta take care of the stink. Give me a few minutes. Be right back. And I'm back. Sorry about that. It's so hard to fathom how something so small and cute could make so much doo-doo. I'm hoping now that he's changed, got his blankie, his lovey, a bottle, he'll settle back down. Whew. So, how's everyone doing? I know in various time zones, including my own, it's getting late. Game plan for the rest of the month, especially given the holidays, is whatever I can make time for, if and when. Just mainly hinges on my family and the kids and all that stuff. Because my kids who go to school, their last day before winter break was today, so they're going to be home the next 2 weeks. I'll probably put up some more uploads as I can, but they're technically not new audios, as in not just newly recorded. They're ones I made new for the Aki channel a while ago, but I'm putting up on here because I'm well aware most of you probably didn't even know the Aki channel existed, so never heard them. I will say, keep an eye on my socials, mainly Twitter, because of all the social medias, that is the one I make the most effort to try to check most often. And plus, there is also the Discord. I do also check the Discord. So keep an eye on that for updates and things. And plus, I can always use the community tab post on here, but I just don't like the idea of like flooding it, you know? Oh, I got another piece of good news. with with things like my Ko-fi and other things where you could like tip me or pay for stuff or whatnot. I can use PayPal. The reason why I haven't been able to before is because for some reason PayPal wouldn't let me link my bank account to it. So that meant any money I got into my PayPal, I couldn't transfer out of it. But because past like year, I've been having major issues with my bank, mainly with like fraud shit. I just went ahead and opened up a new account at a whole different bank, and I'm just like moving everything over there, and PayPal actually linked to it. So now I can move money from PayPal to a bank. Oh, of course, of course. As always, family comes first. I totally understand having someone who, you know, needs assistance and being the person for them. I give you so much kudos for being a caretaker because I know how, you know, stressful it can be at times. So you go do your job, okay? But thank you for hanging out with me, alright? Then I'll be around again, and you can also always see when I stream on Twitch and whatnot. So I'll catch you later. Have a good night or day. Do y'all want to hear something that's a bit funny because of how ridiculous it is? I'm now using two phones. I'm still using the iPhone 13 that I've used for forever. But I had also upgraded to the iPhone 16. But for whatever reason, no matter when I tried to do it as instructed, or even when I took it to my, you know, phone carrier to do things, most of the stuff from the 13 would not transfer to the 16. The important things like the phone number or whatnot did. But so much other stuff just didn't. And I'm kind of stuck. So I figure because I already, you know, bought the 13, it still works fine for everything but phone purposes. I'll use it for like apps. Like right now I'm using it for my VTuber capture with VTube Studio. And then like, you know, other apps like, you know, like editing for shorts and TikTok, graphics, that sort of shit. And then the other one will be like phone. And also, if I want to take pictures, the newer one has the better camera. But keep in mind, I have had the iPhone 13 for fucking forever. Like, it doesn't cost me any money anymore. But the reason why I went ahead and tried to do the upgrade was it had been having some issues, like namely when I would go to apps like, you know, X or Discord or whatever, the app would open and then flash back to the lock screen. Things like that. Holy guacamole, has it legit been 2 hours already since I went live? Really? Wow, I am time blind tonight. So funny enough, 2 hours-ish is about my average stream length when I do stream on like Twitch or whatnot, so. So some of you have been around a long while. Remember, before I started Twitch streaming, I was doing streams like this on the channel. The few marathon streams I had, including the one where I was somehow live for 12 hours straight, without realizing. But I definitely can't do any of that tonight, despite it being a Friday night, because I got stuff I gotta do, plus a little guy. But I've done my best to try to make things as easy as possible. So if you do go to kittymixasmr.com, not only does it like link to all my media and stuff, it links to the websites I have for Aki and Orky, where you can then go easily find, you know, the links for where I make content as them. So it's like, it's very much a nice hub. But good golly gravy, it is almost 1:30 in the morning my time. And I admittedly haven't really slept all that well since before this last weekend. So I should probably try to set aside some time to properly wind down and crash. Oh yes, yes, I'm so glad you liked the new chubby video. Though technically it's not new if you were subbed to my Aki channel. But yes, it's new for y'all on here. But yes, it's new. But, okay, considering nothing happened to my channel while the stream was going, gives me hope that I can indeed do stuff on my channel without YouTube getting pissed off just because I exist. That's good. But with that said, how late it is, I don't know how late it is from y'all, but it's getting late for me. I am going to have to bid you all farewell for the night. When I'll be live again, whether as Orky or Aki, I'm not quite sure yet. probably after the holidays. But I may make time for another hangout stream on here. So just like, you know, keep an eye on stuff. Well, yes. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight. It feels good, kind of starting to get back to a sense of normalcy. And of course, I always love being able to vibe with y'all and enjoy, you know, your company and shoot the shit with you and everything. Like, I genuinely miss this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Especially because of how late this stream was. I hope you all have a good night. If it is night for you, get good sleep. And if it's daytime for you, have a good day. And all I ask is double check to make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to know when new uploads go up, hit the notification bell if you want. Right. Good night, my lovely cultist. Stay awesome. Ada ada. Mwah.